Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and that is a gorgeous 2025 McLaren Artura Spyder. And in this video, I've just got a handful of minutes with it, so I'm going to take you for a drive. Stay tuned. All right, Gearheads. Breaking from tradition a little bit because I've gone very high upscale. I am at the 2025 Texas Auto Riders Texas Auto Roundup, where McLaren has supplied us with this beautiful, what's the paint color, Nolan?
It's Papaya Spark.
Papaya Spark Orange, glorious McLaren Artura Spyder. I have Nolan from McLaren here, and I'm just gonna pick your brain because this is so far out of my stratosphere of family vehicles.
Yep.
But I couldn't not drive this while it was here. So you were telling us this morning, Artura has a meaning. It isn't just some made up collection of letters.
Correct.
So what is Artura?
Yeah, so I mean, stepping away from the previous nomenclature of McLaren, which are all numerical, 570, 620, the list goes on. Because Artura is such a ground up new product for us, we wanted to showcase just how much we care about this. We gave it a name, and the name Artura stands for the combination of art and future. So, kind of like what I was telling you, on the art side, it's more than just the way it looks. Not saying that this car doesn't look amazing, personal opinion, I think it does, but that's about what McLaren is really known for. The driver feel, the art of setting up a car. Yeah. The seating position is beautiful, as you imagine.
Yeah, it holds you nice. You've got Alcantara for weight savings and for premium.
Exactly, correct.
So, I like that.
Yep. So, I mean, going back to that, the steering feel just sits so nicely in your hands. You drive more with your arms because it's telepathic. By the time you've told your arm to move your elbow, to move your hand, the car's just gliding into that direction right there. But then, of course, on the future side, it's everything you'd expect from a brand that's known for thinking outside the box, for pushing the boundaries. This hybrid technology we've got going on, all new carbon fiber tub, all new V6, the list goes on and on and on. So really, it's a car that speaks to many different audiences, but can be that at any time you want it to be. You pick your own adventure with the McLaren Artura.
Yeah. So we are here, we're at the Margaritaville Resort on Lake Conroe in the Houston, Texas area. We've got speed bumps, we're in a golf course, and this is a daily livable car, but it's got some features too that help out with certain circumstances. So I've got a nose lift up here. If I'm going slow enough, it'll lift the nose up so that we don't plow into a speed bump.
Correct.
And then again, we were talking manual seats for weight savings, but it also makes it so quick just to get in and find your spot, right?
Yep. I mean, the thing about this car is that you get in and you feel locked in. Yeah. You can see around you, the visibility is great. The way that you sit and your hands just fall right to the steering wheel is amazing. Everything that you interact with feels like it was designed to be interacted with by the driver.
And we've got paddle shifters back here. The whole steering setup up here, the binnacle travels with the steering wheel itself, so you've always got that optimum viewing angle, right?
Dude, that is what we call our new HOTOS system, which stands for hands on throttle and stick. It's pulled directly from fighter jet combat. So you'd imagine, much like when you're in fighter jet combat and you got a MiG-22 or whoever it is hawking you out, you don't be like, where are the missiles? Where are the machine guns?
It's all right here.
Right at the fingertips. You get a nice muscle memory that you know exactly where to go. Your hands just drift towards it. And that's exactly the way we set this car up.
And so we've got drive modes up here, you were telling me. So you can drive it in. Here's the biggest speed bump right here.
Yep. And you see, no problem. Didn't even need to engage the nose lift.
But we've got Prius mode, because you said it's a hybrid, so you can drive around all EV for 20-ish miles. So that is awesome. It has been an interesting experience hearing or not hearing this drive around as other journalists hop in and drive it. But you can go full electric for a short period of time, but then you can turn it into full-fledged sports mode. And so let's see, that's like this.
Tap up like that.
And we'll go to, oh, hey.
Kick in, All
right, so tell me about the engine sitting back behind me. You said it's a new V6. What do we know about it?
So it's a super cool engine. So the number everybody wants to know, how much power? 690. So you're just breathing on 700 horsepower from a 3-liter twin-turbo V6. That's crazy numbers for the displacement of where we're at with it. On top of that, the cool feature is it's 120 degrees V6. So sits almost close to a flat 6 in between a V6. So right now you hear it's got almost that Boxster rumble that comes from that layout. But then on the top end, super sonorous and revs all the way to a screaming 8,500 RPM. There we go.
Now, again, we're in a very loud paint color in what is now a loud car.
Yep.
Don't want to go too crazy here in this one. Unfortunately, for me, for y'all, this is a speed date of sorts.
Yeah.
I've only got a handful of minutes with it. I grabbed Nolan. I was like, come on, teach me on the fly.
Let's do it.
What can we learn about on this one? So, almost 700 horsepower.
Yeah.
In a car so small, so lightweight. The crazy thing, one of my friends here has got a Trans Am.
Nice.
2002 Trans Am, and he parked it next to this, and it's surprising just how small this car is. It looks so big in pictures because it's so low and so long, but it really isn't. It's a small vehicle. Do you know the curb weight off the top of your head?
I do. So in spider form, it weighs 3,212 pounds. So that makes it a hair over 3,200 pounds, but still lighter than some of its competitor coupe equivalents that don't have the roof mechanism, that don't have the hybrid mechanism, and this is still lighter. So I mean, it just goes to show how much we push the envelope with lightweight. That's everything we do in McLaren, is centered around how can we make it lighter? How can we take a little bit out there, a little bit more there? And Artura is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. And the automatic transmission in this, I've already mentioned, we've got the paddles here.
Yep.
8-speed.
Correct.
Yeah, I see we're currently in 8. And then a lot of digital stuff going on in this one. We've got a full digital tablet-like screen here. I noticed when I put it in reverse earlier, my backup camera is actually on the gauge cluster. So not a lot of tactile buttons and things in here. I know that's been the way of the future, but that's really been most of McLaren's models lately. Has been this kind of tablet-like design.
It is. We were actually one of the first people to kick off mounting screens horizontal ways, if you'd like to say it, or vertical, other than the more traditional sideways that you see the screens on. Again, easier to interact with. Way back before smartphones were even a thing, we kind of had that feeling of like, this is how the phones are more so looking. Shouldn't the car mimic that?
Yeah. And then just the fit and finish in here. Y'all can't sit in here with me.
Sorry.
Nolan's already talked about it a little bit. These bucket seats, they're so thin. Again, talking about the lightweight, but they're comfortable. I do not feel any pain, pressure points, or anything like that. And it really does feel like an extension of me. I feel one with the car.
Exactly.
Just because there isn't much going on. It's not a big cabin, but everything is, again, where it should be.
Yeah, and I mean, you bring up another good point of the dual personality of this car, and that stretch and that balance between technology and maybe authenticity, as you would. So the seats. There are club sport seats, there are fixed back bucket seats. So traditionally you don't get a lot of movement with those. Well, we have a patented design where it sits on elliptical, so basically a half circle. So even in a fixed bucket seat, you can still recline and incline a little bit, something that no one else is doing.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Like, I was a little worried. Now, I will say, ingress egress is a learned behavior.
Yes, muscle memory, as I like to say.
What is it? Butterfly doors? Is that the technical term?
They are dihedral doors, not to be compared with the other brands that may call them butterfly doors. That unnamed word we won't use.
Yes. Okay. My apologies.
Yeah, you're all right.
Strike that from the record. You heard nothing from me. But dihedral doors. What is there a thought process there behind going with just a traditional? Is it more of a design thing? Is it just a heritage thing?
Those ones I like to say are a little bit more of just visual drama. You know, we're still in the supercar segment. Even as a more reserved, gentleman-like British car company, we like to have a little bit of fun, and especially at McLaren, having the engineers just say, what would make this entertaining? It's not something that all brands do, but we do that still at McLaren. One of those things is cool doors that go up. It's just fun.
I love when brands have a sense of fun and whimsy to it, but all right, we're at cruising speed here. I'm just gonna give it a little blip of throttle.
Do it.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So the tactile click you get from and then hearing the soundtrack back behind me. So are these connected? Because I kind of feel them pivot together.
You have brought up another one of those little, like, we'll call it McLaren light packs. Yes, it's a connected system, which means you can reverse on the other side, and same thing for the other side. You can push them inwards and shift up and down with one side. Not that we ever encourage someone to have something in their hands while they're driving, but if you wanted to one-handed shift, you could.
All right. I'm going to go back because I see traffic clearing out this one direction. And we're going to just see.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
I spent a lot of time in these cars, and even for me, that was like oh yeah, that's right. We still got the twin turbo V6 hybrid setup. That's still, call it 700 almost back there.
As near as makes no difference. That's what Jeremy Clarkson says.
Exactly.
So if it's good for Jezza, like, yeah, let's go. But man, I'm almost at a loss. I'm trying to bring y'all along here with me. It's comfortable. Visibility is very good because, well, there's no roof. Like, that is the great thing about convertibles in general is you take the roof off, you're really eliminating one of the biggest pain points of a sports car is visibility. And I've got good visibility here.
And I'll bring up another good point that you segue us nicely into. A big part of it is the carbon fiber tub. So as you know, we talk about that all the time at McLaren, one of the last few brands that really still take pride and make their own carbon fiber tubs, especially in-house, which we do. And that gives us features like, well, we don't have to have super, super thick arms right here so that you can see around very easily because the carbon fiber tub is so stiff. Because the tub is so stiff, we don't have to make everything else ridiculously stiff to compensate for that. So the car rides well. It doesn't have weird motions going on in the background.
It's kind of that Apple mentality. If you're doing it all, you don't have to make the compromises that other people do.
Start with a great foundation and you realize you don't have to take shortcuts to make up for that set foundation later on down the road. And that's exactly what Artura is all about.
Man. My only complaint with this car
keep it real with me.
I'm having to take it back right now. Like, we are on our way back. It is, starting with the color alone has won me over, but the looks. I am turning every head as we drive around. You can't help but the design of it, the shape of it, the fact that it's a mid-engine supercar, and then in such a stunning paint color, it just works. And then, everybody wants to know, what is that? While we were prepping to film this, everybody's like, can I take a picture with it? Can I take a picture with it? Well, yeah, like, you are me 5-10 years ago. Like, when am I ever going to see this car again? Yes. And this really is one of those aspirational vehicles. And that's why I bring it to y'all. Like, I joke, this is not my typical video format. This is not my typical vehicle to bring you here on the channel. But how could I not? It would be a disservice to you and to myself not to spend a little bit of time with this one. And now as we are working our way back to the resort, like, I'm still in sport mode, but it is still such a calm, reserved vehicle. There is still a track mode that I could put it on. I put it in electric, but here in comfort, like, even still in sport, it was comfortable. I don't feel every pebble, every rock in the road. It is surprisingly comfortable.
It shows you that it can be an experience without being overwhelming. And again, we always come back to it, McLaren. We do the balance so well, the yin and the yang in all different vertices. And that's like one great example that you just said right there.
Now, I did spend a week with the Audi RS6 Avant, which
those are awesome.
Loved that thing.
Yeah, good car.
But one of the compromises there, even as it is a wagon, which you would think it would be more daily livable, there were sacrifices and compromises because it is a full-fledged sports car. It rode stiffer. I feel like this rides better than that. Which is saying a lot because this is a supercar. That's a super wagon.
Exactly. One would think it would be the opposite approach, but you've, again, that outside the box thinking just push the boundaries way further than a lot of other automobile companies are even capable of or will go to.
So that is where I will end it with you here on this one. Absolutely, you can tell, but I've had a smile the entire time we've been filming this. But
there we go.
There we go. You want to keep up? No,
we could.
But absolutely love this Artura Spider. If you want to see more from us, we do have future McLaren content coming. So this is a little out of form for us, but stay tuned.
Call it a teaser.
Yeah, hit subscribe down below. Ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop. Find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, with Nolan from McLaren in the Artura Spider, until next time, gearheads, bye.